Welcome to this third part of the video. Today we will discuss something called values and types and different types of variables. So what are the variables and all that? Two things we will discuss in today's video. So in the last class we have discussed how you can just print a hello world message. So this is the message here, and today we will just see that what we will see. We will see values. First we will see discuss values and types. Okay. So now what do you mean by a value? So value is nothing but it's a basic thing of a program, right? So value is a basic thing of a program like a letter or a number, and the values we have seen so far. What we have previously I have shown you something called 1 plus 1 and then hello world. So these two things only you have written in the program. So these are the values for the program. Now these are the two types of values. So what are the types? So I am talking about another one. So if I write print, so simply I write 1 plus 1. Okay. So see, it is printing value as 2. So now if I print hello world, then it is printing the string or the character for me. If I write print 1 plus 1, then it is printing 2. Now these two are two different types of values that Python is taking. So now what are these two types? We know that these types are one is string, one is integer. Okay. So the value belong to two different types. One is integer, where the two value is the integer, or 1 and 1 where adding, that is also integer. And hello world, the total statement, the hello world with the exclamatory symbols is a string. Okay. Now you can identify the string because they are enclosed in a quotation mark. Okay. So if I don't give the quotation mark, then there will be a syntax error, because the string always has to be written in a quotation, right? So now see, it is giving me the syntax error. So for that the quotation is required. You can use double quotation, you can use single quotation. So both will give you the same answer. Okay. Now in value and types, so what you can do, how to know that what is the type of this? As you know this, so here you can say that is a string, but how the system will know? If you want to operate something, if you want to add condition that if the value is string, then do this. So like this, if you want to do, then how do you tell that to the system? So for that you can use something called first we'll just write some messages and then we'll type that what is the type of that. Okay. So let's say I'll write some message. Okay. This I'm just taking a variable message equals to I want to write a message here. So that's why I can just give the code, and in the Python, as I have told previously, it does support typing. So that's why if you just press the one code symbol, it will automatically take the both. Okay. And here I'll write, let's say this is a test message. Sorry. Okay. So now this message I have written here, and then what I need, I just want to print this message. So I'll write print, and in bracket I'll write message. Okay. So as I know, this message is what? It is a string type of value that I am giving to the Python, and I am printing that. So now if I print this, so it will print me this is a test message. So whatever message we have given here, it will print this. So here again let us take one more variable, let's say x, and x equals to let's say 10. Simply I'll write like this, and I'll write print one more print function, print x. So now let us see what happens. So see here, in the two print message, I have just written the variable name. So in this case I am just writing message, and it is printing a test message for me. It is just printing the message that I have given here. Okay. Now if I just write print x, then it is printing the 10 here. Now how do you know that this 10 is a integer or 10 is a character or what? Okay. So how do you know that? So for that we have something called a function type. So if I write type, and in bracket if I pass the argument for whichever variable I want to print that, so I can just do that, and it will give me it is a string, right? So I can add here also type, and here I can just give x. So now it will give me that it is integer. Okay, so type X and type message, so these are integers. Type X is a integer. And next, if I add one more value here, let's say I'll write pi equals to what, 3.14, and so on, decimal points are there, and I'll run this. Then here I'll write, instead of I'll write new one, then type, here I'll give pi. So let us see. So pi is a float, so actually it is printing the last command that I am giving. Okay, so now you know that three different types of variable we know. One is string, one is integer, and another one is a float type. Okay. So next is, if sometimes what happens, you can write, some people write the numbers with commas. So if I write like this 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So some people write like this also. So if you do like this, then let us see what happens. So now X equals to 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So if you put a comma in between the numbers, then what it is taking? So it is taking as a 1, 0, 0. So what is this? So let us just print this and see the type of this. So now it is a tuple. So tuple concept will come later. So tuple is a type of function which can take multiple values. So here it is, the X now is a variable and whose type is tuple. X is a tuple here. Okay. So now X is not an integer. So what happens if I just give quote here? Okay. So if I give a quote here and if I see, now the type of X is what? String. So simply if you give comma in between a number, then it becomes a tuple. And if you give quotes, the quote, if you give the quote to a number, then it becomes a string now. Okay. Okay. So now let us see variable names and keywords. So how we can give a variable name and keyword? So here you can see that I have already created 3-4 variables here. Message is a variable, X is a variable, and your pi is a variable. Okay. So variable names can be arbitrarily long. So there is no limit that what means what is the length of a variable. Okay. So here I'll write variable names can be arbitrarily long. Okay. So it can be arbitrarily long. There is no limit to that, what is the length of a variable, but there are certain limitations in a variable. Okay. So what is the limitation, we will see, but they can contain both letters and numbers as well. So you can create a variable with combination of letter and number. So let us see that how you can combine. So let's say I'll write message 1. If you have 3-4 messages you want to take as input, if I write message 1 equals to some string. Okay. So I can take this as a variable. Okay. And I can also print this one. So when you are printing this value in the print message, so if you do not put a quote symbol here, so what will happen, that it will print the message 1 as a string and it will not print the value. So for that, whenever you are passing a value to the print function, then do not just give any quote. Now it will print the message 1 whatever we have written here. Okay. So we can take a value with a combination of alphabet and number as well. Now let us see what error can come here. So now if I take one message equals to one message equals to, I'll write the again one message, and we will try to print this as well. So let us see what happens, then we will explain that what is the error coming, or error even coming or not. Okay. So see here, now there is a syntax error. So what is the error? So invalid syntax. Where is the invalid syntax? and the beautifulness of this Python is that it shows that in line 1 there is a error. So, what is the line 1? So, basically this output is shown for this block of code. So, that is why this one is the line 1. So, in line 1 what is the error? And the error is saying is invalid syntax. So, that means the variable name that I have taken is wrong. Why? Because the here no bracket actually. Yeah. So, you can see here the same thing I have written here and the same thing I have written here, but only the variable name or style of writing I have changed. That means you can use a combination of alphabet and numbers in a variable, but the variable should start from a alphabet. You cannot start it from a number. Okay. So, it is legal to use uppercase letters, but it is a good idea to begin with variable names with lowercase, and we will see that why it is. Okay. So, generally you can take a variable like this as well, starting with capital M, and there will be no error. Sorry, in line 2, because I have given here. So, here it will easily takes this. You can take capital letter, small letter, that does not matter actually. Okay. But generally you should use the small letters as the variable. So, it is easy and convenient also. Why so? Because once you are writing so much of program, so much of lines you will be writing in the code, then problem will arise that if you take capital letter, then sometimes typing error will come and it is very difficult to find what is the mistake you have done, because the same variable will be used numerous times. Okay. So, when you do actual project and your data science or AI ML, then you will be using same variable again and again. So, if you just use capital letter and small letter, then there might be error somewhere which is difficult to find. Okay. Basically, it will show you that in which line it is the error, but now while writing also it is difficult to avoid. So, that is why you should always take the small letters as a message as a variable name. Okay. Now, what other kind of variable name you can take? Okay. So, let us see here. If you take message underscore 1, so this is a special character, you can take this as a variable. Okay. So, I will write message with underscore. Okay. Now, I will print this. So, see, it can easily take it the underscore. Now, let us try with some other special character. So, let us see what happens. So, if I write message @1 equals to, and there is a message with @, okay, and we will print this one now. Let us see what happens. So, see, there is a error, cannot assign to operator. Okay, that means you cannot take @ as a variable inside a variable name, it is not allowed. So, only special character that is allowed is underscore, you can only take. Okay. So, now what are the errors we know? You cannot take a number as the first, you cannot take number as the first one. You cannot take special character like alpha, dollar symbol or percentage, anything. We can only take underscore. And one more thing is there. So, let us take one variable as class. Okay. So, class equals to, I will give some message as class variable. So, if I simply run this without printing also, it is giving me syntax error. So, why syntax error? So, class is actually a inbuilt function and you cannot take that. So, that is why there are some inbuilt functions of Python which cannot be taken as variable. So, if you want to something name class, you really need a variable, then you can give a underscore and you can take that. Directly class you cannot take. Okay. So, now the point is, as I have told, the class you cannot take it. So, it turns out that it is a Python keyword. The class is a inbuilt function in a Python which is called as a keyword, and basically the Python 3 has Python 2 had some specific keywords were there. In Python 3 the keywords have been removed, means so many keywords are there, there is no count of that. Okay. So with this video I'll stop here with the type of variable and what you can do with the variables and what kind of variable you can take, and the next video we'll talk about the new thing, and in the next video probably I'll talk about that how you can use the operators and operands. So how that can be used we'll be discussing in the next video. So till then, take care, bye bye.